Hi, I'm Alex, and I teach here at The Perfect Knot. I teach a wide variety of classes, and one of the classes that I do teach is Yin Yoga, and it's a great class here at The Perfect Knot. I teach Yin Yoga, and also another really good Yin Yoga teacher here is Beverly Burr, who teaches some Yin Yoga as well, and will teach you a lot of great things in our Yin Yoga class. Now, what I'd like to talk a little bit about first is how Yin Yoga is different than other kinds of yoga. In Yin Yoga, we target the deep, thick tissues in your body. As an example of a deep, thick tissue, you can think of bone. Bone mounted in bone is as thick and difficult to move in your body as you can get. Bone mounted in bone, as an example, is your teeth. Your teeth are bone mounted in bone. Now, if you wanted to change your teeth, you wouldn't grab each tooth and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 reps on each tooth, right? And do that 3 times a day. Your teeth would fall out. You wouldn't be able to have positive change on your teeth. So what you do instead is you apply less pressure over a longer period of time. That's what braces do. Braces are Yin Yoga. It's less pressure over a longer period of time to affect the thicker tissues in your body. So in Yin Yoga, we're going to be doing longer holds with not as much pressure to affect these deep, thick tissues, especially in your hips, but all throughout your body. Next, I'd like to go over some basics for seated poses. We do a lot of seated poses in Yin Yoga, but these alignment points I would like to make for seated poses, they're valid both in active yoga classes as well as Yin Yoga classes. And starting out in a seated pose, the most important thing you can make sure of when you do a seated forward bend is to make sure that the tilt of your sacrum is forward. Now, what I mean by that is your sacrum is this big flat bone at the bottom of your back. If you kind of take your hand onto your back and you just take your hand down and down and down, you'll feel the little knobs of your spine, and then eventually you'll get down, you feel this big flat bone right at the bottom. That's your sacrum. You want the top of it to be more forward than the bottom of it. So right now, while I'm seated right here, so if you have tight hamstrings like me, this might be the case for you, it's going to tilt back. You can see right now the top of my sacrum is behind the bottom of it, so it's tilted back. Now, if you do your seated forward bends tilted back at your sacrum, you're going to get much less effect, as much as 10 times less effect in your stretch. So what we want to do is make sure it tilts forward and get it tilted forward, like so. So the top of it is in front of the bottom of your sacrum. Now, some of you may find that you're not quite able to get that tilt, and that's why we have a great variety of props. One really common prop we use are blankets. So if you're not able to get the top of your sacrum to be in front of the back of your sacrum, doesn't mean that you just decide to not do yoga. Maybe we can still work in the props. So you can bring yourself on a blanket or 2. I remember when I started, I think I had about 6 blankets. And then, voila, you get the forward tilt in your sacrum. And you're going to feel a much better stretch, a much deeper stretch, and a much safer stretch in your forward bends. Typically in a Yin class, we'll be in a pose like this for 3 to 5 minutes. In some cases, even more. And whenever you come out of a really long hold, like this kind of a pose, like a Yin sort of pose, you want to be really slow, really careful, really easy, because you're working some deep structural tissues. You're making some deep structural change. And by the end of class, it just feels really good. You should feel really settled in your body, really nice. Everyone that I know of that has tried out this yoga, including Carla, discovers that it's a really great class, and we'd love to see you.